Ladies and gentlemen, we meet again towards Parashat Ki Tisa with a short and sweet, beautiful idea. We have 5 parashiyot, the second half of Exodus, second half of Sefer Shemot, that talks about the Mishkan. Teruma, Tetzaveh, Kisesa, Vayakel, Pekude. So we're in Ki Tisa, we're in the third one, we're in the middle. And whilst we're talking about all the creation of the Mishkan, the holiest place in the world, the place that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will dwell with us, it stops for 2 stories, and that's in our Parsha Ki Tisa. And what is the main focus of these 2 stories? I'd like to focus on for a few minutes. The first stop is not a story, but it's actually 6 psukim that tell us that even though we're building the Mikdash and everything is going fine, ach et Shabtotai tishmor. However, we must keep Shabbos. And Rashi says, ach means to accept, make an exception. What's the exception? That, however important it is to build a Mishkan, a holy place, we have something more important than a holy place, which is our holy time. For 2,000 years, we haven't got a Mishkan, we haven't got a Beis HaMikdash or a Mishkan, but we do have something holier, greater than the Mishkan, which is Shabbos. And I want to share with you a beautiful idea about Shabbos that I heard once in the name of Rav Soloveitchik, which goes as follows, a very deep idea. It says the following: if we think about it for a moment, there's a big philosophical question here. The Maharal talks about it and others. How can HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who is infinite, create a finite world? If HaKadosh Baruch Hu is infinite, whatever he creates is infinite. How can he make a finite world? A lot was written about this until in the Kabbalah, in Jewish mysticism, they created a concept called Tzimtzum. Tzimtzum means HaKadosh Baruch Hu narrowed himself. He narrowed his immortality. He narrowed his unlimited powers to create something limited, to create something mortal. And then came Shabbos, after holding himself back, holding back his immortality and holding back his great unlimited powers for 6 days in order to create this limited and finite world. Shavat vayinafash. And then he made Shabbos, and Shabbos he let go. Shabbos is unlimited. Whatever happens in the world in future, whatever happens in the world, one thing is for sure: after every 6 days there'll be a Shabbos. Shabbos is infinite, like HaKadosh Baruch Hu was infinite. And when we keep Shabbos, we're connecting to something infinite. And that is incredible, because all the week that we do our work, we are connected to this world in finite ways. Now, the Rav Soloveitchik has a beautiful idea and says that, 1 second, we are created in the image of God, Tselem Elokim. Rav Chaim Vital says, what is Tselem Elokim? Tselem is from the word Tsel. Tsel means a shadow. So if the sun shines on my right hand, there's a shadow. But the shadow shows this left hand, because it's a mirror image. So you actually see a left hand. That means we are exactly like him, but we're the opposite. Hold that in mind for a moment, and think of what we said before. That what HaKadosh Baruch Hu did for 6 days, he held himself back. On Shabbos, he let go. So because we are the mirror image, so we do the opposite. We do exactly the same as the opposite. 6 days in the week, we have to go and we have to be as creative as we can possibly be. And then Shabbos, we hold back. We're keeping Shabbos. When we hold back our creativity and keep Shabbos in all the ways, then we are actually emulating HaKadosh Baruch Hu exactly the same, just the opposite. And that is the idea. In fact, if you want to, sometimes you're listening to some music, which is very, very special, very, very spiritual. So you want complete silence around. Any little bit of noise, any static will disturb you. Shabbos is a beautiful day, and any type of work, any type of creativity is a disturbance. And we want to try and listen to the Shabbos songs. We try and listen to infinity. We touch infinity, and that is a fantastic idea, which explains also the practical side of why we have to refrain from all these melachot on Shabbos. That's the first issue which stops the building of the tabernacle, the Mishkan. Second issue that stops is the story of Moshe Rabbeinu coming down from the mountain and seeing the golden calf and breaking the tablets. And the Meshech Chochmah asks a very interesting question. Asks, why did he break the tablets? I mean, this is a very violent thing to do. He should say, look, it says you shouldn't have any type of idol, and here you're worshiping an idol, so stop it. Why did he have to break it? What is the issue of breaking the tablets? To such an extent, if you look at the last Rashi of the Torah, Le'inei Kol Yisrael, it says, what did Moshe Rabbeinu do? That he broke the tablets. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu complimented him on breaking the tablets. What did Moshe understand to make him break those tablets that HaKadosh Baruch Hu complimented him? It says in Meshech Chochmah the following. He came down to the mountain and saw them dancing around the golden calf. Why were they dancing around the golden calf? Because they needed something physical. And they didn't get it. They didn't get it. Shabbos is beyond the physical. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is beyond the physical. We worship something which is eternal, beyond the physical. And a golden calf is minimizing. And therefore we must not worship any idols. And he felt that if he would take the tablets and tell them, look, it's forbidden what you're doing, get rid of this. So what they would do was, what they would do is to take away this golden calf, put the tablets instead, and they would start dancing around the tablets. We're not allowed to dance around anything physical, even if it is the holy tablets themselves. Those are the two messages. Those are the two messages. Whilst we're building the tabernacle, the holiest place in the world, where we're building it, we have to stop and remember, number one, Shabbos is greater. A holy time is greater than a holy place. And Shabbos is greater than the tabernacle itself. And the second issue is we cannot worship anything physical, even if it is worshiping the tablets themselves. These are the ideas. In fact, one says, this I'll end because this points out a very important point that we're all dealing with just now. We don't have the tablets today, but we have what's the greatest kedusha we have. We have a Sefer Torah. So are you allowed to take a Sefer Torah out of the Ark and sell it to a goy? I don't know. He'll make shoes out of it. He'll make whatever. He'll desecrate it. But are we allowed to do that because they need the money for something more important? The answer is, it's brought down the Gemara and it's also the Rambam, that we're allowed to sell a Sefer Torah for Pidyon Shvuyim, for bringing back Jewish hostages. Ladies and gentlemen, we're praying every day we're praying for these hostages which are kept in terrible conditions with people who are very, very cruel, and the mind shudders to think what they're going through. And if there's any way, it's not a financial issue. In many times it was a financial issue, and then we could even sell a Sefer Torah, but that's now not a financial issue. It's a political issue. It is a religious issue, and we're fighting, and we're still fighting on the front line down in Gaza, and we're trying our very best, everything we can do and everything we can think of to help release our hostages. Wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom.